My name is Daniel Luria, the Executive Director of Ateret Kohanim, and I can say that I am happy and proud to be in a generation that is part of the unfolding redemption process. I mean, think about it, for 2,000 years, Jews have been singing and praying to return to the land that Hashem gave the Jewish people. But that's all we could do. I'm living in a generation where we've come back home, where we're here today in Judea and Samaria. And it may have taken 200 years of pioneering spirit, it may have taken 4 or 5 wars, and we're still surrounded by a lot of hatred. But in 1967, the floodgates to the redemption opened up, and we returned to where our history, our heritage, our roots have been. And that doesn't say anything negative about the War of Independence, which was very special. But remember, in 1948, we lost Yerushalayim. We didn't have Hebron, Beit El, Shiloh. I mean, with no disrespect to Tel Aviv and Haifa, they're not mentioned in our biblical sources, all part of the land of Israel, yes. But the heartland of the Jewish people, the place where the Torah comes to life, so to speak, where you can see Avraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov, our forefathers, the kings, the prophets walking, that was not in our hands in 48. And in 67, God, for whatever reason, thought that the time was right, whether it be the unity of the people, to jump another level in this redemption process, to bring us back to this land, to give us the opportunity to show true sovereignty. And more importantly, gave us the opportunity to say, yes, we are home in this land that God gave us, and not to be afraid to say it. Yes, we are the indigenous people of this land. This land around Jerusalem was empty. Mark Twain was here in 1867. He saw nothing. First of all, there was nothing outside the city walls. There was deserts. There was nothing here. There was no such thing of a built-up country. The Jewish people returned. God opened up the floodgates to redemption, blessings, and today we have a beautiful Jewish state. There are issues that need to be dealt with, both in Judea and Samaria and in Jerusalem. But we've come a long way down the redemption process. The more we're able to do, the better it will be, by showing 2 things: strength and strength of conviction. So far, we have today 85 Jewish families living in the city of David. There is over 120 families, Jewish families, living on the Mount of Olives. There are 35 families living in the old Yemenite village of Shiloach. The redemption process moving along. And yes, every so often, maybe the messianic donkey does sit down. Maybe he even turns around from time to time. But he's moving forward, and that won't be stopped. It's not going to be stopped anymore, because we're on that process today. And the more we, Jewish people at ground, grassroots level, understand who we are and what we are, and are confident in that, we'll be able to move along, because it's a combination deal. It's a partnership with God. God gave us this land of Israel as long as we act in a certain moral, ethical way based on the Bible that He gave us, the Torah. And so long as we act and we fulfill our part of the bargain, we will keep on winning wars, and we'll keep on holding on to the land of Israel in its entirety, including Judea and Samaria. We obviously need to start at the Temple Mount. Today we see the Golden Dome, which was built only 1,300 years ago, over the place of the Holy of Holies, where King David puts the Ark. King Solomon builds the temple, and once a year the high priest goes into that area. For underneath that temporary Golden Dome is the rock, the foundation stone of the world, where everything takes place in Jewish history. That is the focal point of all our prayers, the direct avenue to God from that rock which is under the dome of the rock. But that's a later stage in the process of redemption. We are today involved in the physical redemption of Jerusalem before the spiritual redemption. So you've got the Temple Mount, the old city. The city of David is south of the Temple Mount, no longer inside the walls of the old city. If we move further to the east, we're passing through the King's Garden, where King Solomon plants every conceivable tree. And on the other side of the valley, east of the city of David, of course, is the old Yemenite village. In 1882, Yemenite Jews, believing the Messiah was going to come back to Jerusalem, came, trekked, and lived in the area before there was a single Arab living there. No Silwan, no Arab neighborhood, only Yemenite Jews from Yemen who trekked believing in the revival of Jewish life and the redemption and the Messiah coming. At its peak, there were 160 Yemenite Jewish families living there, of course, with the focal point being the synagogue. East of the old Yemenite village of Shilach, with its 35 families, are 120 Jewish families living in what Ateret Kohanim calls the jewel in the crown of, well, today there are Jews that are living and dancing and learning and thriving on the Mount of Olives called Ma'aleh HaZeitim. If we go further east, of Ma'aleh HaZeitim, then we come to the last frontier, the eastern edge of Jerusalem, Kidmat Zion, adjacent to Abu Dis. Today, there are 10 families living in the most important Jewish neighborhood built since 1967, called Kidmat Zion. Plans to build 300 to 400 units are afoot today, and God willing, they will be approved, and we will see the shield of Jerusalem coming to fruition.
Hello, my name is Yossi Feldman. I live here in Kidmat Zion in the eastern Jerusalem. I live here for 8 years. It's very important always to pray for Jerusalem and to help to Jerusalem. And we want here to build Jerusalem. All Jerusalem is ours, like the Kodesh Baruch Hu said in the Torah that the Beis Hamikdash is here. You can see. Where is it? Bezrat Hashem, it will be built. Everything is starting with small things. We are starting a small thing. We build here a shchuna. There is 10 families. We doing here minyan in Shabbat. Every Shabbat there is a minyan, Bezrat Hashem, and help to Jerusalem, Bezrat Hashem. Iska. This is there my son, Yair Yaakov. He born here, near here. He born in Har HaTzofim. Har HaTzofim is 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers from here. It's a bit. This is Har HaZeitim, but after this there's Har HaTzofim. It's difficult to see in the camera. It's a Jewish land here. It's the city of the Torah. The Torah is started here. The Sanhedrin was there in Yerushalayim, in Har HaBayit. And Bezrat Hashem, we are waiting and we are learning Torah. For that Kodesh Baruch Hu will help us to build the third Beis Hamikdash, Yimra b'Yamenu Amen.
Kidmat Zion, Ma'aleh HaZeitim, Kfar HaTemanim, the city of David, is all part of this struggle to keep Jerusalem in Jewish hands. Is all part of the redemption process unfolding here in the heart of Jerusalem. The same thing is taking place in Judea and Samaria. In area, unfortunately, we've got area A, B and C. For me, there is one area. It's area J. The Jewish area, or area H, Hashem. Hashem gave Judea and Samaria, Jerusalem, the land of Israel, to one people. And for 3,800 years since that original promise and covenant with Abraham, only one people were blessed to have this land in its entirety. And no matter how many different empires, from the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Byzantines, the Muslims, the Crusaders, the Turks, the Ottomans, the Jordanians, the British, they're all passing by in history books. The only people that have remained here to this very day, because of that covenant with God, is the Jewish people. We have returned home.
Hi, I'm Yisrael Ben Shlomo, live in next to Chava Shachar. We use the sheep to conquer the land of Israel and make a buffer zone between the Arabs and the Jews and the settlements. We graze the land, helps it ecologically, and we conquer the land with the sheep. We've seen a lot of wars with the Arabs, and Hashem has helped us in every single war and battlefront that we've gone. If Hashem wants, and we deserve it, we could get it. Anything we dream of, we'll get. This is our land, and if Hashem wants us to conquer it, we will conquer it.
קטונתי מכל החסדים ומכל האמת אשר עשית את עבדך.
אם לא ירושלים תשכח ימיני תדבק לשוני ולחיקי אם לא אזכרכי